All right, what's up, guys? Happy Thursday, everybody. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, as we know, it's Thursday, so that means that there's a Thursday night football game going on right now, and it's kind of a big one. It's the New Orleans Saints versus the Dallas Cowboys. Last time I checked, Dallas Cowboys were up 7-0, but obviously as Philadelphia Eagles fans, we all know how important it is for the Dallas Cowboys to lose this game. Not only is it important for Philadelphia Eagles fans, it's also important for Washington football team fans, but we're not going to go there because we don't like them, and that's okay. Guys, there's big news out of the NovaCare complex for the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, we're going to get into that first. Two running backs missed practice today. Jordan Howard missed practice today, and running back Boston Scott also missed practice today. Obviously, he was out with an illness, so it's not necessarily injury related. Hopefully it's not COVID related. Jordan Howard missed practice again due to that knee that he suffered a couple weeks ago. So let's go ahead and go over this real quick. Just a little bit of an injury report. Jordan Howard did not practice today. Center Jason Kelsey did not practice today due to his knee. Obviously, he suffered a little bit of a knee injury in the game against the Giants, but did come back in, was okay. Kind of mentioned in his press conference this week that he was going to be okay, so he was basically out for resting the knee today. And Boston Scott obviously did not practice for an illness. And then we have Derek Barnett, TJ Edwards, Jalen Hurts, Josh Sweat, and we're all limited in practice today. So again, guys, kind of getting late in the week. Jalen Hurts obviously is the big name on that list. Is he going to play? Even if he is limited, is he going to play? So we'll just have to see. Toxic Falcons, what's up, my man? Happy Thursday, my dude. Happy Thursday. Is Jalen Hurts going to play? That's still up in the air. Obviously he came out and said that he's going to, like we talked about yesterday. But I think that the coaching staff is kind of leaving something to be desired if he is limited. So we will have to see on that. Guys, full participants in practice today: Fletcher Cox, Teron Jackson, Lane Johnson, Miles Sanders, and Devontae Smith, who is full practice with an illness. But here's one of the big questions that I want to get into. Here is one of the big questions that I want to get into. Can Miles Sanders step up if Jordan Howard and Boston Scott cannot go? You would think that Miles Sanders would be able to be the guy who could step up. But, I've checked the message boards, I've checked the fan boards, I've checked the discussions. A lot of people are kind of starting to doubt Miles Sanders. If he was an all-around running back, I would say, sure, yeah, the running game's going to be just fine. The running game's going to be just fine, but here's the thing. People are starting to question Miles Sanders if he can be that guy moving forward. He's shown a lot of inconsistency, so we'll just have to see. And who is going to step up? Is it going to be Miles Sanders? It should be Miles Sanders. Or are we going to get to see more Kenneth Gainwell? Let's get to some of the comments in here. Mike Nixon, what's up, my man? Happy Thursday, my dude. Mike Nixon says, yo, what's up, DB? Happy Thursday, bro. Big Play Slay is one Giants win away from shaving his head bald. Did he actually make that bet? Did Big Play Slay actually make that bet? I'd like to see him make a bet on my channel, on my stream. I'd like to get him in a bet. But the thing is that we're both Eagles fans, so I don't know what we would be betting. Guys, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this Eagles running game because Jordan Howard obviously didn't practice. Boston Scott didn't practice. I think Boston Scott's going to be okay. Jordan Howard's more of the one that I'm worried about. What is this Eagles running game going to be like without either of those two guys? Can Miles Sanders take the next step? Will we see more Kenneth Gainwell? I think we will. But we'll just have to see. So in my opinion, I think that with these two running backs that are very similar to each other in Kenneth Gainwell and Miles Sanders, I think those are the types of running backs that fit what Sirianni actually wants to do. More so, and this is a perfect team to do it against. Talks Falcons, to answer your question, The Eagles play the New York Jets this week. So it's a perfect opponent for the Philadelphia Eagles to test different things and possibly still get the victory. That's not me taking anything away from the New York Jets. That's not me taking anything away from the New York Jets because, like I've said in previous streams, I think they have a ton of talent. I just think that they're very young and they have a lot of growing pains to get through. So, Mike Nixon says, yeah, with me. Gotcha. What was the... So he's one Giants win away from shaving his head bald. Oh, so was the bet that the Giants were going to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles? Or does he think that the Giants are going to lose out? It's interesting. It's going to be an interesting It's going to be an interesting sight to see, that is for sure. Guys, I want to continue to talk about Jalen Hurts. I want to continue to talk about this running game, obviously. And I want to know what your thoughts are as far as the Eagles-Jets game this week. You know, are the Eagles actually going to bounce back, or are we going to be surprised and see that this team is more like the team that showed up against the New York Giants, or are we going to show up and be the team that was, starting to put fear in the opponents? Let me know what you think. King Miro, what's up, my man? Welcome to the chat today, my dude. Happy Thursday. I hope you're doing well, my dude. Mike Nixon says, the bet was if Giants sweeps the Eagles, he shave his head, and if the Eagles sweep, I shave my head. If they split, it's a no-go. All right. Well, I don't think that the Giants are going to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles. So you already have a bet in place, so I'm not going to make that bet with you. But we might be able to find something else. That would be unfortunately if the Giants swept the Philadelphia Eagles, that wouldn't be good for a lot of reasons. One is the one that we know, which is, it wouldn't be good in the eyes of Jalen Hurts, or in our eyes in regards to Jalen Hurts. And then, what does that say about Nick Sirianni as a head coach? I like Nick Sirianni. First and foremost, let me just throw that out there. I'm liking him more week by week, day by day. I think he's really grown a lot as a head coach, especially the way that he handles himself in the press conferences, and just his overall game planning and play calling. I think are getting better week to week. But if this guy can't beat the division rivals, what does that say? Is that something to be even worried about? Should we even jump on his back and give him shit if he can't beat the division rivals? Because honestly, in my opinion, and Mike Nixon, no offense, I'm more worried about the Washington football team than I am the New York Giants. Plain and simple. Hands down. Toxic Falcon says, I bet the Falcons win the Super Bowl. I bet you're nuts. How about that? How many bags of nuts did you buy from the grocery store today, my man? Because you're absolutely crazy. King Miro says, just wait until we get Jordan Howard back. I hope that we get Jordan Howard back this week. It's going to depend on what he does tomorrow, in practice tomorrow on Friday. But, him not practicing today was not a good sign. So, I mean, even if he were limited, it would be better. But he wasn't even limited. So, this game is going to come down to, look, if Jordan Howard can't go again, if Boston Scott can't go again, if Boston Scott can't go, if neither of them can be active for game day, then it's going to come down to Miles Sanders, and it's going to come down to Kenneth Gainwell. And if that is the case, this is the perfect week for Miles Sanders to turn off all the haters. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been through a ton of discussion boards. I've been through a ton of Eagles fandom chat, and a lot of people are hating on Miles Sanders. A lot of people are giving up faith on Miles Sanders. So King Mero says it's okay we got Sanders. Is it okay? Is it okay that we got Sanders? Look, I'm not a Sanders hater. I'm a Sanders faithful. You know what I mean? He was. I said plenty of times after that draft that if we only had one pick throughout that entire draft class 2 years ago, I just want to make sure that it's Miles Sanders. And lo and behold, we went ahead and got Miles Sanders, and I was so stoked. I was so happy that we got Miles Sanders. But he needs to be more consistent, man. He needs to be more consistent. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that we got to worry about with Miles Sanders. And I never thought that the day would come where I would have to say that, because I think he's such an incredible running back. But when it comes to him, and this week, if Jordan Howard and Boston Scott are out, Miles Sanders should put up a fuck ton of yards. Mike Nixon says, none taken, bro. We suck right now. I just hope that we draft either two offensive linemen in the first, or draft Hutchinson, with one of our picks, and draft Tyler Linderbaum. Tyler Linderbaum's the tackle, right? He's the offensive tackle. I know he's an offensive lineman. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. I was hoping that you joined the chat yesterday, because I'm kind of pissed off that currently, as it stands right now, the Giants in the current draft order, if it ended today, the Giants would have two top 10 picks, and they would both be in front of the Philadelphia Eagles. So King Mero says, I really love Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, I do too, man. I do too. I said the same thing about him, going into the draft that I did about Miles. I really want Kenneth Gainwell. And we got him. And I think they're kind of honestly, if I were to give you my honest opinion about this, I think that they're kind of doing a little bit of a disservice in taking his snaps away, ever since we activated Jordan. But it worked. It was working. But here's the thing: is I just believe that Kenneth Gainwell can give you so many more options. You know what I mean? So, like, in the passing game and the running game, all of the above. So, Mike Nixon says, nah, he's a center, bro, from Iowa. Oh, that's right. I knew he was an offensive lineman, though. I'm not quite there yet, but I know that he is. He's definitely up there. I'm very familiar with him. And you want Aiden Hutchinson. I feel like everybody wants Aiden Hutchinson, honestly. Aiden Hutchinson is like 6'6", 275, like fucking beast, bro. Beast. Guys, how are you feeling about... There goes my light. Awesome. I have an antique light right here. And hopefully it can... Don't hate the player, hate the game. There we go. I know, I gotta get a new light, guys. It's just a little finicky. Yeah, guys, how do you feel about this week's game? If Jalen Hurts goes, if he's limited, what does he need to prove to you? What are some specific things that you guys are looking for? Just going over the chat boards about Jalen Hurts is a lot of people are getting pissed off that people are giving up faith on Jalen Hurts. Look, I don't think you should be pissed off at the people who are giving up faith on Jalen Hurts. I think that, it needs to be somewhere in the middle, right? Like, he needs to continue to show that he's getting better. He needs to have a bounce back game. I want to see him make his reads better this week against the Jets. It's one of the things that I'm going to look for. And then I'm going to look for him to continue to do that, because that's something that you need to be able to continue to do. We're also going to talk about Russell Wilson in this stream too, but we're going to get to that. But what do you guys want to see from Jalen specifically this week against the Jets? Mike Nixon says, maybe you were thinking about Evan Neal from Bama. No, he's a good one too. Yeah, I may have gotten them mixed up. That's a good point. I'm more familiar with Tyler Linderbaum though. So here's my thing. Here's my thing about this week's game against the Jets. Jalen Hurts is not the only one that needs to have a bounce back game. Jalen Hurts is not the only one that needs to have a bounce back game or a great game, I should say. Guys, I've kind of already touched on this throughout the stream already, but I think it's necessary to request Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts to have the types of games where they need to prove something to us. Miles Sanders needs to get touchdown. Like, that's the thing too, is like in those chat boards, like I've heard people getting pissed off at Miles Sanders about him not getting enough touchdowns. He's always injured, he's inconsistent, and all of those things are justified, man. I can't. It's hard to defend the players that you like right now. It's hard to defend Miles Sanders right now. Mike Dixon says, if I were an Eagle fan, I would want him to make his reads and make better decisions with his passes. Right, exactly. Agreed. King Miro says, every single time Jalen does bad in a game, the talks come back about Russell Wilson. Yeah, you're right. And the reason for that is because, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, our expectation of how you should perform is so high. It is so high, and that's where all that pressure comes from. Is, it's a big market city. It's a big market city. We've talked about this in the past. Like, it's a big market city, and so the demand for performance is gonna be high. It's gonna come in droves. It's gonna hit you in the face if you can't meet the expectations. And does that get in the way of our patience a little bit? Yeah, it does sometimes. It gets in the way of our patience sometimes a little bit. But honestly, the thing that kicked off the Russell Wilson shit this week was Adam Schefter, saying that he would waive his trade clause if for the Philadelphia Eagles, and again, like I mentioned this yesterday, is I believe that Adam Schefter was kind of talking generally, like he would do it for most teams if they came calling and there was a trade on the board. And so I have to look at it. I have to look at it that way. But yeah, those trade talks are going to come up if he does bad, and the reason for that, King, is we don't know. We don't know, what Jalen's going to give us. At the end of the day, we just don't know yet. He hasn't shown enough consistency in one way or the other quite yet. And I'm sorry, but my expectation, I think it's great if you can only pass the ball 5 times and run the ball 50 times and still win the game. Cool, I'm perfect with that. Absolutely perfect with that. I don't care as long as you got the W. But if you're in a situation where you have to ask your quarterback to throw more than 20, 25 times a game, I expect the quarterback to be able to deliver. Not play this what if game. Not have that be a question mark. You know what I mean? So So does that mean bringing Russell Wilson to Philadelphia? Does that mean bringing Aaron Rodgers to Philadelphia? Does that mean, waiting for the Deshaun Watson shit to clear up in February? And if it clears up, does that mean trying to go for Deshaun Watson? Or does that mean drafting a quarterback? I don't know. I don't know. I know who we got right now, and who we got right now is Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts needs to have a bounce back game and continue to improve. Mike Dixon says because the one play, in particular the last play of the second quarter, he needed to throw that ball away and make sure there was time left to take field goal. Instead, he throws it right to Crowder for an INT. Yeah, what's crazy about that is he had Dallas Goedert wide open right in front of him in the end zone. If he didn't scramble and freak out and panic, he had Dallas Goedert wide open right in front of him. Dallas Goedert had just broken out into the route, and it wasn't a cutback, but it was a fucking little shindig. He went in. It was like an in and out. He went boom, boom. So boom, boom, and right here. And once he started to go this way to the right, he had enough separation. He had enough separation for a tight end to make that play and get the touchdown. Like Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz or Carson Wentz to Dallas Goedert in that situation, boom, would have been a touchdown all day long. But you could also point to the play right before it where Greg Ward dropped the ball in the end zone. It doesn't matter. People want to go back and they want to replay that play as well. And it's like, yeah, Greg Ward dropped the ball in the end zone, but then he had another play. He had another play on top of that right before the half. And if you can't make one play and you get another chance to make another play in the drive, then you got to make the play. Not give it back to the other team. Or take the 3 points. So the whole Greg Ward thing is void, in my opinion. Like him dropping the ball in that situation is void because it was like second down, right? It was second down. So, Jalen Hurts needs to see Dallas Goedert wide open right there. You guys can go back and watch the footage. Watch the footage. I recommend that. Go back and watch the footage. And those are the types of things that we're talking about, right? When it comes to Jalen Hurts is, Doug Peterson was on with John Clark. I believe it was John Clark earlier today and was saying, yeah, Jalen Hurts is basically a rookie. And a lot of people jumped all over Doug Peterson for saying that for some reason. Like Philadelphia Eagles fans jumped all over Doug Peterson for saying that. And it's like, why are you jumping all over Doug Peterson for saying that when the entire organization is saying that right now? You know what I mean? The entire organization is saying that about Jalen Hurts right now. And the truth of the matter is he just played his 16th game. So as of this week's game, he is no longer a rookie anymore. And I've made the argument before where he's not. He's not technically a rookie, right? He's not. He's had one more offseason than a normal rookie quarterback, and that means that you got more time to learn and develop and go through things and work on things and at the NFL at NFL speeds. So, but I get it. They want to measure it based off of how many games have you played and whatnot and all that jazz and so let's be fair. Let's just be fair because he's already played 16 games in the NFL now. So there's no point in keeping that from him, right? There's no point in keeping him from that. All right, update for the Cowboys-Saints game. It is late into the second quarter, and the Cowboys are winning 10-7. Guys, if the Saints come back and win this game, it's gonna be going to be good. It's going to be good news. It's going to be good news for the NFC. It's going to be good news. It's going to be good for the NFC East. It's going to be good for the NFC as a whole. For those teams at the top, like the Rams, and others. But yeah, it's definitely going to be good for the NFC East because that means that the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles will have a shot at winning the NFC East. So, as crazy as that may sound, it's the truth. Mike Nixon says, not going to lie, right when I see Rager beat his man, I thought he was going to catch that. I'm happy, but I feel bad for Rager because I know fans were going to kill him for that drop, and I like Rager. Mike Nixon, you like Rager? You want to take Rager and we'll take Kenny Golladay? You wanna take Jalen Rager? We'll take what's his name? Your rookie wide receiver. I always forget his name for some reason. Why do I always forget this guy's name? Florida State. Mike Nixon says, but he was projected second round pick in his draft. Yeah, he was projected to go in the second round. A lot of people had him early third round, to be honest. And just from, and I think that's honestly, Eagles analysts, or Philly sports analysts trying to pat up their shoulders or whatever, pat up the beef. I don't think they had him that late. I don't think none of them had him that late at the time. I think it was like second round. King Mero says, I believe in Jalen so much, man. Let me talk about this for a second. Because I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. Jalen embodies everything that's necessary to withstand the Philly fans. He is a leader. He does have leadership qualities. And so that's the thing that puts me on the edge, right? That's the one thing that puts me on the edge. It keeps me, seesawing pretty much. Is I know that he possesses the personality to withstand this city. But so that's the one thing that makes me believe that he can continue to get better and turn that corner. And he is a hard worker. He does have a strong work ethic. So you would think that he would. And so that's where I seesaw. So I understand. King Miro says, by the way, the Eagles play on my birthday, so they better win this game. Oh, happy early birthday, dude. Happy early birthday. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll have to do something. We'll have to do something special for you on your birthday this Sunday. I will think of something. So, but to get back to Jalen, if he can just stop like misreading, if he can show that he can, make the tighter throws or look off the defenders or make the right reads and make them on time, then that's going to do a lot. That's going to do a lot for me. It's going to do a lot for me and my opinions of Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Mike Nixon says, I'll give you Slayton for Rager because I'm done with Rager. And the crazy thing is I bought Slayton jersey last year, but drop after drop for me, especially the one against Washington, Danny threw that ball perfectly. I would probably take Darius Slayton. I would probably take Darius Slayton over Reagor. Definitely. You would really make that trade, Mike? You would really make that trade? Darius Slayton can get open. Darius Slayton can catch the ball. Darius Slayton, can run routes. And Reagor is having a hard time tracking the ball. He's having a hard time running routes. He's having a hard time catching the ball. Mike says, I'm done with Slayton. Yeah, no, I know. I hear you. King says, hey, guess what I got? A Reagor jersey, so I know how you feel, Mike. Why did you guys get Reagor jerseys? Answer that. Answer that. Were you guys that excited about Reagor when we drafted him? Or, Mike, you're a Giants fan, so honestly, like I won't buy a wide receiver jersey, even if we take him in the first round. Not right away, anyway. Not right away. Mike says, no, I meant Slayton jersey. Oh. Yeah, my reason for not wanting to buy a wide receiver jersey, obviously it dates back to Nelson Aguilar. So, but Devontae Smith is making an arguable case. Or he's making a solid case for me to get his jersey. You know what I mean? Honestly, guys, I'll be honest with you. Is after the Falcons game, the Eagles played the Falcons in Week 1. I was really close to getting a Jalen Hurts jersey, and now I won't touch that idea anymore with a 10-foot pole. At least not for right now. King says, but I'm getting a Devontae Smith jersey. Nice, dude. Nice. Hell yeah. And you should. I want to get a I feel like I kind of want to get a Kelsey jersey, honestly. Be straight up with you. Kind of want to get a Kelsey jersey. That dude's a monster. It's a man's man right there, Jason Kelsey. Gosh, I never want him to leave Philadelphia. I just never want him to leave Philadelphia. I want him to retire here, and then I want him to coach the offensive line here. You know what I mean? Or at least be like an assistant offensive line coach to our current offensive line coach. But we'll see. I haven't decided yet what jersey I haven't decided yet what jersey I want to get. But all right, let's do some checking in on the Cowboys Saints game right now. Still 10-7, 4 seconds left to go in the half, which means that it's probably halftime already, and I'm probably just delayed. 13-7. 13-7 Cowboys going into the half. Wow. As Owen Wilson would say, wow. Guys, here's the thing. The Cowboys are letting the Saints stay in this game. And Taysom Hill is starting for the Saints, as we talked about Mark Ingram is going. So we weren't sure that was going to happen, but it looks like it is. Taysom Hill's not having a great game. He's 12 for 21 for 144 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Who picked that ball off? I swear, if it's Trayvon Diggs, I'm going to lose my marbles. Jaron Kearse. Speaking of Jaron Kearse, he's always a safety that I liked. I liked Jaron Kearse coming out of college. Obviously, you know, the Eagles have ties to his family just, you know, because of Javon Kearse. But you know, isn't that Jaron Kearse's second interception back-to-back weeks? That's his second interception in back-to-back weeks. Playing well. Mike says, but after back-to-back games, I want the Giants to wear their color rush jersey and helmets with the Giants written on the helmet forever. Yeah, I can't comment on that. I can't say I agree with you because I just don't like the Giants. Especially right now. How did you, Mike, let me ask you this. How did you feel about Kevin Stefanski calling the plays for the Giants? King says, by the way, I also got to meet Rager's parents at week 3, and I got a picture with them. Oh, nice. Nice, man. Very cool. You should have asked them, why can't your son, like, get open? Why can't your son get open? Here's the thing, though, is he has made strides. Like, I'll come to his defense a little bit. He has made strides, you know, since his rookie season. Can't blame it all on Rager. Were those 2 drops bad? Yeah, they were bad. But, I mean, his production elsewhere, you know, how much of it is Jalen Hurts? And the same goes for Quez Watkins, too, right? Like, Quez Watkins gets open. Quez Watkins is fast. Quez Watkins, da-da-da-da-da. Quez Watkins can beat the guy deep. It's either underthrown or overthrown. And obviously the underthrows and overthrows, that's on Jalen. That's on Jalen Hurts. You know? So, you know, let's talk about the Russell Wilson thing a little bit. What do you guys think the likelihood of that happening is? Not even just him coming to Philadelphia, but I mean him leaving the Seahawks this offseason. I think there's a strong chance that he's going to leave this offseason. It's just a matter of to whom and where. And also Aaron Rodgers as well. Mike says, you mean Freddie Kitchens. That's right. I always get him and Kevin Stefanski mixed up because, they both coach for the Browns. Anyway, Mike says, you mean Freddie Kitchens. I thought they did good for having 6 days prepared for the new offense. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think I don't think you're gonna actually get to see the drastic differences that could come with that offense until after the off season, just because it is so late in the season. So I mean, I don't know. Me personally, like I thought that was a good hire for the Giants. I really did. I still think I think Freddie Kitchens has some wherewithal when it comes to calling plays for an offense. So that will be interesting to see how that pans out moving forward. So yeah, I mean, as far as like I if I were a Giants fan, I wouldn't be looking for a new offensive coordinator. In my opinion, I wouldn't be looking for a new offensive coordinator in this offseason. Just keep things the way they are. King says he better bring me DK Metcalf if he comes to Philly. King, that's not happening. If it were Aaron Rodgers could bring Davante Adams to Philly. But we'll see. Or if it's even Russ, if it's even Russell Wilson, like he could bring Davante Adams to Philly. I don't think, and here's the big question too, right? Is Davante Adams going to want to come to Philly if the quarterback situation isn't resolved? Or there's also the people on the other side of the spectrum that say, yeah, a player is going to follow the money, like no matter what you do, or no matter where it is. And I personally, I'm not one who agrees with that argument, because I think that Davante some of the smarter players in the league, like Davante Adams, know that his production is solely relied upon on the quarterback that's throwing him the ball. And so I think that if he's not able to go to a place where Aaron Rodgers goes, or if Green Bay, let's say Green Bay keeps Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to say that that's going to happen, but it might make him more, more interested in returning to the Packers, because he is a free agent. You know what I mean? But here's the one thing that we know, that Aaron Rodgers did come out before the season and say, this team hasn't paid its players. They cut Rod Woodson. We're talking about quite a few others as well. Jordy Nelson. So Mike Nixon says, I agree, he's done with them. Russell totally doesn't want to be there, and it shows this season. That's another thing that I want to say too, and it's one of the things that I said yesterday in yesterday's stream, is a lot of people are getting on Russell Wilson about his lack of production this season, or his bad play. I don't think it means that Russell Wilson is headed towards the end of the road. I think it's kind of like a Carson Wentz situation, where he just doesn't want to be there anymore. And so it's affecting his mental, and so his mental is affecting his game. Bada, bada, bada. Bing, bing, bing. Mike says there's going to be a lot of QBs traded this offseason. Rodgers, Wilson, Watson, Garoppolo. Garoppolo for sure. The verdict is still out on Deshaun Watson. Reason why I say Garoppolo for sure, guys, obviously we know they took Trey Lance. The 49ers took Trey Lance with the 3rd overall pick, so they got to move Trey Lance after the season. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Rodgers is probably going to be one of those guys. Russell is going to be one of those guys. But it's going to be interesting. And here's the thing too, right? Is like, this would be the second season in a row. Where that has kind of been the case. Like we saw Matthew Stafford get traded this past offseason. We saw Jared Goff get traded this past offseason. We saw Carson Wentz get traded this past offseason. Jimmy G was on the trade block for the longest time. Obviously there was Gardner Minshew, who got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then also Joe Flacco got traded to the Jets, and da. But so a lot. It's crazy. I feel like that's the most quarterbacks I've ever seen traded in one season. Mike says, can you blame him though? You gave him no offensive lineman. You making him run like a chicken with his head cut off. No, I don't blame Russell Wilson at all. He's repeatedly asked for those things that you just talked about, and they haven't gotten them for him. You would think that they would do a better job of replacing kind of the production that Marshawn Lynch brought to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously you're not going to find a guy like Marshawn Lynch, but like they could have done a better job. At finding more production from the run game. You don't go out and draft a guy, who is like another chicken running with his head cut off, out of San Diego State, in Rashad Penny. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, and like, I can't blame the Seahawks for making that pick. I can't blame them for making that pick because, was it San Diego State? I believe it was San Diego State, because Rashad Penny was a decent prospect, you know, coming out of that draft. You know, that's the same draft the Philadelphia Eagles took Donnell Pumphrey over Rashad Penny. And I was one of those people that wanted Rashad Penny. Donnell Pumphrey? King Miro says Jared Goff deserves better. Jared Goff does deserve better. I might be, you know, here's my thing, is I think Jared Goff does deserve better. I really do. You know, I feel like you get him in the right system, he's a phenomenal quarterback. And we saw that with him, you know, and Sean McVay with the Rams. But there's only very few quarterbacks that can succeed with the Lions. But then again, we've only really seen one quarterback over the last 10 years with the Lions, and that's Matthew Stafford. And at that point, Matthew Stafford obviously had Calvin Johnson throughout the beginning of his career, and was able to find success after Calvin Johnson retired. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like, your team sucks. Your team sucks. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do at the end of the day when your team sucks? Like, how much positivity can you garner? How much positivity can you churn? You know, Matthew Stafford was able to do it. But Jared Goff's having a hard time. So, Mike Nixon says, I got a team to trade for Wilson. Go to the Saints for 2 firsts and Michael Thomas. Ooh, the Giants? I know he's going to say the Giants. Of course he's going to say the Giants. He's a Giants fan. Mike's a Giants fan. And they have 2 firsts. No. Oh my God, if that were to happen, I would lose my shit. I would lose it. How does my mic sound, guys? Because it didn't sound good yesterday. How does it sound? Does it sound normal? Or do I sound far away? Let me know. But no, if Russell Wilson got traded to the New York Giants, that would mean that Aaron Rodgers is coming to Philly. Like, hands down. No hands barred. There's no way in hell. If Russell Wilson got traded to the New York Giants, Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie would jump all over trading for Aaron Rodgers. All over it. There is no way in hell. Because what would that mean? That would mean that on paper, it looks like the Giants and the Cowboys would rule the NFC East. And the Eagles would be stuck with Jalen Hurts. No way in hell. So you pick your poison. Mike. Oh, Mike says no to the Saints. Okay, I misunderstood. But I mean, I do make a great point. I mean, why wouldn't the Giants trade for Russell Wilson? Why wouldn't the Giants go after Russell Wilson? Mike Nixon says, I don't want to part away with our 2 draft picks. I don't think you would have to part with both of them this year. You might have to part with one this year and one next year. You know, that's what I always try to bring up when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles and the fans going absolutely crazy about trading 3 first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson, so to say. They're not all going to come from this year's draft. The Eagles are still, like, let's say the Eagles did trade away 3 first-round picks for one of these guys. They're not all going to come from this draft. They're not. Howie Roseman's not that stupid. And also, teams wouldn't expect that. Sorry. It's just, like, 3 first-round draft picks is too much for any quarterback in the NFL right now. So, the Texans aren't getting three firsts for Deshaun Watson. The Packers aren't going to get 3 for Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to get 3 for Russell. The Seahawks are not going to get 3 for Russell Wilson. 3 first-round picks is a shit ton. King says, your mic sounds good, man. I hope so, because, like, I thought it was connected last night, and it wasn't connected properly. So, I'm going to rewatch, obviously. We're going to have to go over that when I rewatch the video. But should I do my streams in an accent from here on out? Mike Nixon says that we are not a quarterback away. Mike Nixon, Seattle would want both, though. King says Russell Wilson would teach. All right, enough of that. Yeah, Russell Wilson would teach. That's the cool thing. That's what I look forward to. So here's my hope. Here's best case scenario, right? The Philadelphia Eagles can get Russell Wilson without having to trade away Jalen Hurts. And therefore we can keep Russell Wilson for like 4 years and then or 3 to 4 years or until the end of his contract or whatever. And then hopefully Jalen has learned enough by then to be able to play the game at a starter level consistently. But that's a perfect point, though. That's a perfect... Like, would the Seahawks want Jalen Hurts in that trade? Would they want Jalen Hurts in that trade? To think that they would be able to get the same thing that they got from Russ 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Let's check back into the game. The Saints are driving 2nd and 3 at Dallas's 42 to start the third quarter. Here's the thing, guys. Sean Payton he's just a better coach. He's a better coach than Mike McCarthy. So, the fact that they're only 6 points down, they're driving the ball right now. I think that looks good. It looks good in favor of the Saints. Is it crazy to think, guys? I mean, obviously, we're all fans of the NFC East in here. Is it crazy to think that the Washington football team could be headed back to the playoffs this year? I mean, it looks like that's a possibility for them. They're 5-6. It drives me nuts, honestly. It drives me crazy. And reason being is because I think that they're better than the Cowboys. Mike says, but did I hear a rumor that Sean Payton might leave the Saints after the season and he would like to come back to the Giants? He was a coach for us. I remember. Is Sean Payton's contract up? It's a good question to ask. Is Sean Payton's contract up? If not, you can always trade for a coach. It doesn't happen all that often. And I don't even remember the last time it did happen. But I know the Cowboys were certainly interested in trading for Sean Payton. Jerry Jones was. King says that game is going to be crazy when we face them. The Washington football team or the Cowboys? Mike says, I believe it is. Yeah, guys, here's the thing. This is what I think about the NFC East. I think it is comprised of tougher teams than people give them credit for. I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are a tougher team than people give them credit for. I believe the Washington football team are a tougher team than people give them credit for. Even the Giants. Because the Giants have the talent. The Giants have the skill. You know, they just have to be able to turn it on. And then there's Dallas. Yeah, so like, you know, obviously we've seen the Washington football team. They beat the Bucs this year. The Giants almost beat the Bucs. You know, or did they beat the Bucs? Did the Giants beat the Bucs, or did they almost beat the Bucs? I feel like they almost beat the Bucs, but they played a great game. You know, so there's a lot of this division. This division is on the rise again. It's on the rise. We're getting there. You know, NFC East. You know, we'll soon be the NFC Beasts again. You know what I mean? We'll soon be the NFC Beasts again. You know, this is my only you know, statement of trying for all of us to come together as one. All of us NFC East rivals. We'll be the Beasts again. All right, what do we got here? Where are the Saints? Okay, so it's 3rd and 10 at Dallas's 24. The Saints still have the ball. Mike says, "Holy shit! That the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Thunder, 159 to 79, 73-point margin of victory, largest point margin in a win in NBA history. Wow, I didn't even know that. King says, hell nah, they got beat bad. That's the game that got Jason Garrett fired. Oh, that's right. Maybe it was the Chiefs. Didn't the Giants play well against the Chiefs? I feel like they did. It was one of the tougher teams. When their defense started getting healthy. Mike, who was it? Was it the Chiefs? Okay, so the Saints just kicked a field goal, so now it's 13 to 10. Just keep Dallas out of the end zone. Keep Dallas out of the end zone. And go do your thing. I think it was the Chiefs. That they played that they did well. I was surprised how well they did. But I don't like the Giants. I mean, I have a sore spot in my heart for the Giants. Like, I just do not like them. And honestly, it's not even because they're rivals. It's not even because we're rivals. Like, it's not even that. And that's what makes it worse. You know what I mean? Like, I can't hate your team. I can't even hate your team because we're rivals, because I hate your coach so much. I hate your coach. I hate Joe Judge. I do not like him. I think he's a crybaby. Like, I think he needs to go back to the refrigerator and find a baby bottle. You know? Like, the shit that he pulled when the Eagles took Jalen Hurts out of the game in Week 17 last year. And the fact that he blamed it on the fact that he had the players blaming it on the Philadelphia Eagles that they didn't make the playoffs, and so that's why Washington did. You know, it's like, don't blame another organization, man. Like, take responsibility. Like, your team should have won more games earlier in the season. You know, so Mike says, yeah, we played the Chiefs well. Only a 3-point loss. Yeah, I figured it was one of those two teams. Tom Brady and the Bucks, or Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But another team that's kind of getting their mustard back. They're kind of getting their mustard back, guys. The Chiefs. Chiefs are kind of getting their mustard back. You know what I mean? No, I'm not actually talking about mustard. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how these playoffs are going to shake out. I think the playoffs are going to be pretty intriguing this year. I think they're going to be pretty intriguing. They're going to be exciting to watch. Because you still have the Titans that are going to make it, even though they don't have A.J. Brown or Derrick Henry. They're probably still going to make it. You know, obviously, and I believe the Chiefs are going to make it, and I believe that the Colts are going to continue to get better every single week and continue to do well. They did well against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers last week. So I feel like the Colts are going to make a push. You know, we'll see. We'll see. King says they were 6-10. Why would I take my team to the playoffs? First off, I mean, if it was normal, there was no NFC East team that should have made the playoffs last year. There was none. But the fact that the Washington football team almost beat the Buccaneers in the wild card game was astounding. With Taylor Heineke at the helm, it was absolutely astounding. 2nd and 6 at Dallas's 29. Dallas has the ball. It's not bad. Not bad. Just got to get it to third down. Hopefully it's an incompletion or something. Mike says, this is my bold take. I think the Titans just missed the playoffs. Really? It's very bold. It is very bold. Very bold prediction. Reason why it's bold is because I think that they still only have 4 losses, right? They still only have 4 losses, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, they're still 8-4. I can jump on board with that. And I'll even raise you. I'll raise you too. The Colts will only lose one more game, and they'll win the division. The Colts will only lose one more game, and they'll win the division. So they'll take first place at some point in the season over the Titans. That's my bold prediction for that division. King says if Cowboys lose this game, they will go 7-5. They will be 7-5. Yeah. Which means that they'll be back to being 2 games behind the Eagles, or 2 games ahead of the Eagles, and 2 games ahead of Washington. But Washington had their bye already, so they're 5-6. And the Eagles are 5-7. So, just checking out these other conferences here. I mean, these other divisions here. The AFC West, the AFC West looks good. The Chiefs are back to first place in their division, 7-4. Chargers in second, 6-5. Broncos 6-5. Raiders 6-5. So there's a 3-way tie for second place in the AFC West. which is crazy. It's also crazy that the Chiefs have finally found first place, which I believe is how it's going to stay throughout the rest of the season. The Ravens are 8-3, Bengals 7-4. Joe Burrow looked great last week. But obviously, yeah, I believe the Ravens are going to keep that. AFC East, Patriots at the top, 8-4, Bills 7-4, Dolphins 5-7, Jets 3-8. Guys, the way that Bill Belichick has Mac Jones playing right now, and the way that team is playing together, with the camaraderie that they have and the chemistry that they have, and I really believe I'm gonna. This is as far as bold predictions go. As far as bold predictions go, sorry, let me get this comment right off the. Mike says no Henry, no Brown for 3 weeks, no Julio possibly for the season. Yeah, that's if they get them back. That's if they get them. That's the earliest they can come back, right? Is 3 weeks. That's the earliest they can come back. And no Julio possibly for a season. Yeah, I mean, you basically just wiped out 3 of your top guys right there. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they stayed at the top. It wouldn't surprise me, but I do believe that there is fuel to the fire of your bold prediction, Mike. I do believe that there is fuel to the fire of your bold prediction. And I just have some faith in the Colts. I have some faith in Carson Wentz and the Colts. So, but as I was saying, yeah, no. As far as Bill Belichick and the Patriots are concerned, guys, I think that they're going to make it to the AFC Conference Championship. They just look like they're going to make it to the AFC Conference Championship. The AFC Championship. Honestly. King says, "Damn, Julio stays getting injured. Glad he's not an Eagle." Well, would he have gotten injured this season if he were on the Eagles? We haven't had that many injuries. We've had some. We haven't had that many injuries. It's not like years past under Doug Peterson. You know what I mean? So, obviously we lost Jordan Mailata for a few weeks earlier in the season. We lost Isaac Samalu earlier in the season for the rest of the season. But as far as that's concerned, we haven't had a lot. We really haven't. And Brandon Brooks, we haven't had a lot of injuries. So, would he have gotten hurt if he were a Philadelphia Eagle? It's a good question. Probably. I'm not gonna be finicky with that one. He probably would have gotten hurt if he were a Philadelphia Eagle. Let's be honest. But let's check back in this game. Guys, and we'll talk a little bit more, and then I think we're going to call it. But before we do wrap up, guys, so obviously, I'll just go ahead and recover over some things that we talked about prior. I expect Miles Sanders to have a big game, and I expect Jalen Hurts to have a bounce back game against the Jets this week. I think if they do those things, the Eagles can win 27-13. Let's just say it. Let's just say that 27-13. I think if they do what they're supposed to do, I think they can win 27-13. The Saints got the ball back. And force Dallas to punt. Mike says, you want to hear my bold take before the season started? I said Jonathan Taylor would lead the league in rushing. I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean I'm saying it's not true. I believe you, and hell yeah, man! Kudos on predicting that, because he's a badass. Jonathan Taylor's a badass, and barring injury, which I hope for his sake, he doesn't get an injury, but barring injury, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to touch him at the end of the year. Honestly, when it comes to the rushing title. So, oh really? The Saints just punted it away. Damn. Giving the ball back to Dallas. Damn. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor is a one-man wrecking crew, dude. Like, he really is. He's a one-man wrecking crew. He's helping out Carson Wentz a lot. A lot. And that offensive line, So, I think he's going to continue to do great. And I think the Colts are going to continue to win. And I think the Cowboys are going to lose this game somehow. And I think the Eagles and the Washington football team are going to make a run. At the NFC East. Because the Cowboys, what can go wrong, will go wrong. So, King says Taysom Hill is playing hurt right now. Nah, it's okay. It's okay. My opinion is he's still their best option. He is still their best option. But Mike says he's one of my favorite running backs to watch. Yeah, he's good. He's fast. He's strong. He's good. He picks the holes right. Like he's an awesome running back, phenomenal running back. Plus them having Nyheim Hines over there too. Like it just works out well. Just works out well for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just works out well for the for the Indianapolis Colts. It works out well. So, but anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for joining in today. Mike Nixon King, Toxic Falcons, I don't think is here anymore, but I want to thank him as well for joining in today. Obviously, it's always great to have you guys join in and be a part of the podcast. Please tell your people to like and subscribe, Anyway, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I will see you guys tomorrow.